$1 for one property. All right, Vana, so let's start at the beginning. So let all of you know, what did you do after you graduated from high school? And then how many years you been selling real estate now?
After high school, I decided to just skip college and go all in into real estate. Got my real estate license. I was helping buyers and sellers. Sold about 14 houses my first year, made 100 grand, tripled that the next year, did the same the next year, got into wholesaling, and so now I'm buying property.
So you did some flipping also in your last year, I remember. That's when you made so much money last year, like close to 400 grand last year. But this year, you decided to buy a fix and hold and keep it as a rental property and doing the Burr model. And I want to go into detail on how she did this deal, how she found it, and what kind of rent and cash she's gonna make. So you guys ready to do this? Let's go. Let's start off with, how did you find this deal? Give us the background on how you found this property.
Yeah, so wholesaling, you know, I'm always looking for off-market properties. I got a team cold calling, we're door knocking, we're sending out mailers. But this one actually came to me from a family friend. So someone I knew, she's known me since I was a baby. She called me, she was like, Vana, I want to get out of Seattle. So we started showing her property. I showed her one that was like 2 hours south, and she loved it. And she just wanted to sell her house. She had this free and clear, and then buy the next house and zero out.
So what did you pay for this house, first of all?
$530,000.
How much down payment did you put on this property?
Zero.
And explain that to the viewer. How is it zero?
So our purchase price was $530,000. That was enough to get her into the next house. And I went with an FHA loan on this. This is the first house I'm buying to live in, so I only need 3.5% down, plus about $10,000 in closing costs. So I wrote myself a 6% commission in the contract as an agent. That covered all the closing costs and down payment, so I didn't have to bring any money to closing.
Now I see you remodeling this house, right?
Yep, growth.
First of all, how many bedroom, how many square feet is the house?
So this is 1,250 square feet, 3 bedroom, 2 bath.
What is it gonna cost you to rehab this whole thing? Because I see basically you're gutting everything out, you put everything brand new. What is it gonna cost you to do this whole thing?
About $50,000.
$50,000 everything.
Everything.
Okay, so you got it for $530. Cost you 50 grand to rehab all this because all the windows are already in good shape already.
Yep.
You'd be on for 580.
580.
What do you think this property is worth after it's all done and remodeled in this area?
After it's all repaired, this property will be worth $750,000.
750,000. So that's about 170,000 worth of sweat equity from doing this. How big is the lot on this? Do you know?
It's a 5,000 square foot lot.
5,000 square foot lot, which is a good size if you ever want to put an ADU in Seattle. So Vana, what is the mortgage payment on this property, you think?
$4,500 a month.
$4,500 a month. And how are you going to make money on this 3-bedroom house so you can live here for less than $4,500?
Yep, my plan is to house hack it, so I'm gonna live in one room and then I'm going to rent the other ones. I'm thinking renting the travel nurses, $2,000 a room.
So even if Vana got less than that, whatever she rent the room out for, you guys, house hacking basically is just another way to offset your own mortgage so you can live for basically less than would paying for the whole time mortgage yourself, which is a great way. But the real money is what you're gonna do by rehabbing this house, the equity, which is 170, but the most of the money you're gonna see is gonna be made in the backyard, and we're gonna talk about that in a minute. So here's a bonus, folks. So in Seattle, there's a new zoning now, right? On single family zoning, they allow you to put another structure in the backyard if the backyard is actually big enough. In this case, you guys see there's a lot of square footage in the back, so you go all the way to the alley, okay? So you can put another structure here. Now, ADU, which we call detached ADU in Seattle, this is happening pretty much all over Seattle, and now it's happening all across America more and more now because of density. They need more affordable housing. This is the way how they overcome affordable housing by allowing people to build more structure on their single family lot. You're gonna see this a lot happen all across America. So Vana, first of all, we got a 5,000 square foot lot. So what is the first step that you do, Vana, to get this thing ready for you to start designing this thing?
So to start building onto the back, we're gonna get a survey to see where everything sits, and then me and the architect are gonna talk about what we wanna do here. So we can add on top, or we can just knock it down and start fresh. That's what we're gonna decide to see how to maximize this lot to get the most out of it.
And in Seattle, the maximum square footage is 1,000 square feet that you can build ADU. You can do 1 story or you can do 2 stories. Typically it's 2 story because the yard ain't big enough. How does tree impact your design of your property? Talk about the tree.
Yeah, the tree really stressed me out for a second because normally if you have a tree that's wider than 24 inches here in Seattle, we can't cut it down at all.
Right.
So they're gonna tell us exactly, you know, how close we can get to the tree.
If this tree, you guys, right here, was to sit in the middle of this lot, you pretty much ass out.
We couldn't do it.
Unless you can get somebody named, Mr. Tran or something, come over here on the weekend and do a lease model, right? And not get busted, that's a whole other thing, right? But if this is in the middle, forget about it, okay? How much does the lot cost you in the back?
$0.
$0. Why?
Because I already paid for the front and I'm making a bunch of equity there, so I have a lot for free.
That's it, because it's free lot, okay? Before we talk about number, I want you guys to see something. You guys see this? This is the alley. In the perfect world, you want to find a house with a backyard where there's an alley, so you can actually develop off the alley much more cheaper, and you want to put the parking off the alley so that it doesn't really mess with, you know, the main house in the front. And number two, the best second lot is always on a corner. You can have a corner lot, that's even better. But let's just talk about numbers. So you got a lot for free and clear, 1,000 square feet ADU. What is the 1,000 square foot ADU costing right now around Seattle, you hear?
I'm expecting to spend $350,000 to build.
I would agree. It ranged anywhere between $300 a foot to $350 to build everything brand new from, you know, A to Z. So when this thing is all done, the cool thing about Seattle, we have separate tax ID number, where most cities don't have that.
Yep.
Which is, you can sell two property separate time, right? Because they have their own tax ID number. What do you think the ARV on this thing is worth when it's all done?
It's gonna be worth about $650.
650,000, which is very conservative. Some area in Seattle, right? It's worth 750, 800,000. So this is worth 650, and you in it for 350. How much equity is that?
$300,000.
$300,000. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. Okay. And we did the math on this. The mortgage on this is going to be somewhere around $2,400.
Yep.
What do you think you could rent this out for?
About $3,000.
So you're going to make about $600 in cash flow.
Exactly.
And you did all this with no money down at the beginning.
No money at closing.
This is how you create wealth in America, when you know how to actually house hack, how to add more structure to the backyard, right? So at the end of the day, let's recap this. How much equity do you have in both property?
$470,000 total.
$470,000. You're gonna get $600 cash flow from this house, which is $1,700 a year. You're gonna offset your mortgage, so you live there for less. Okay, and you did all this with basically no money out of your pocket.
No money out.
Folks, give it up to this girl right here, baby. Give it up to this girl right here, baby. Okay? This is called the Burr Model / house hack, all within one. This property, you're doing it this year. We're having this, you're gonna build this out. What would happen, man, if you did one of these projects every year for the next 3 years?
So if I did one of these every year for the next 3 years, then that would put me at 6 stores total. I'll live in one, so I'll have 5 rented. At $3,000 average rent, it's $15,000 in total rental income.
Every single month for the rest of her life, you guys. Are you kidding me? That's life-changing money. So again, this is just a basic concept. Buy a house, put something in the back, you do one every year for 3 years. You have 6 doors. Imagine what would your life be like if you had 6 doors like this. All right, you guys, that's a wrap for the video. If you liked the video, make sure you guys give us a thumbs up. Make sure you guys go check out Vayner. We're gonna put Vayner's Instagram handle right here for you guys. Okay. If